their fists. Bonnie and Mandy. Make sure you're always watching, or you could miss it if they ever kiss. Those two wildflowers did what they had to do, and now they're free. And it's gonna be as wild as it can be, with no apology. Bonnie, Scalisi, and Mandy Jones, Wildflowers, Wildflowers.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're looking live at the Wildflowers. I'm Mandy Jones, the comedian, and as always, next to me is the beautiful.
Hi, Bonnie Scalisi. How are you, everyone?
This is the 54th episode of this show, and it is September 29th, 2021.
Wow, it's almost October. I can't believe it.
I know. I don't know where this fucking year went. I don't know where my life is going. I just went, but
did.
but we won't. But I digress, because I actually love the fall. It always reminds me of new beginnings, going back to school. I always treat myself to new sneakers and a new backpack, like a little kid. Bonnie, why don't you tell them what the topic
The
is?
topic tonight is self-care. So we want to know how you take care of yourself, how yourself going in this crazy game we call life, and get through it every day. And maybe we'll help each other. Everybody will give each other tips, and we'll get through it. So you wanted to talk about our weekend this weekend. We had a very, was that a Friday night?
Yeah, that was the 24th. Bonnie and I were at the Little Room doing Terry McNeely's Laughs in the Little Room show.
And it was a great turnout.
Yeah, he was like...
And thanks to me.
Yeah, I know. He's like, there's going to be 13 people. It's going to be 13 people.
And you, of course.
There's going to be I brought Glenn, my one designated
I brought
bringer.
12 people or more.
Bonnie, that's like, you met your bring requirement for a really long time. That was like, I had brought I brought 15 people to a Terry McNeely show one time, and I was telling my friend that like it's literally on average, like, all right, come on, I average like 2.5 people now. The amount of shows I've done for you, it's like there's been zero.
Right,
that one time
take the average curve, right?
That one time that there was 15 people, it sets my whole
That's
stats
right.
off.
That's right.
But it really does make a difference, and we basically filled the room. It was filled as comfortably. Glenn was like, if there were more people in there, it wouldn't have been.
it was filled enough.
Yeah, because I was jumping back from watching the show in the audience to the green room, which I love to do.
I like to watch the shows too, usually.
Yeah.
Especially if they're not filled. But this one, it was filled enough that I was just staying backstage.
And the other thing we want to talk about that's coming up is the next G's Club show. I know we always say it's the first Monday of the month, but we're going to do the October 14th. And we have Teddy Smith is going to headline. And we have all basically a bunch of novice comics, because it's all people that came out to support us.
Yes, you came out to support us, and we put you on a future show. And that's how it works. And they also get a chance to get up. I think the person that got up the last show was Evan Weiss.
Yeah, I know. He's like, don't put my name in the hat. And I'm like, fuck you. I love you. Your name is going in the hat. And yeah, he actually got pulled, and he was hilarious as always, talking about robbing his dad who has dementia, who he's like saying that he has dementia, he's going to steal money from him, which is just like appalling and hilarious. But I digress. Do you want to say anyone who's tuning in?
Yeah, I want to say hi. David Lange is watching. How are you, David?
Colonel.
Nancy Weems is saying hi to us. Your mom, my boyfriend, and already Michael's making a joke about self-care. Is this a masturbation show? So can everyone please share the show?
Gun, Michael.
Hi, Alan Streisfeld. We just started. Robert Soleil, who wrote the beautiful theme song that was at the beginning of the show. Yes, so far we're still identifying as girls, Robert, but you know,
ladies also identifying as ladies. Thank you, Teresa.
Exactly. Hey, Teresa, and Key, her wonderful husband. I just want to mention, if I can, that Key took part in a show that I did Saturday. I did a double header on Saturday, and I learned never to do that again. I did a show that I put together for Felix.
Oh yeah, God bless you, Bonnie.
And
God bless Bonnie.
it was great. I felt great about it, and I felt like that's what comedy is supposed to be all about: is giving, making people smile, giving back in a healthy, fun way.
And it was at a nursing home, right?
It was at an assisted living
And
care.
I said, who fucking needs laughs? Come on.
Who needs laughs the most? Is the people and you have a captive audience. they're trapped there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and once
Like,
again,
ringing the bell for the aid. Like, get me the fuck out of here.
Yes, I don't notice stuff. So when we came in, they took your temperature and very strict
good.
about stuff. And I didn't realize, but Michael, my boyfriend, said that they left with a body, and then he said,
"You guys killed that night."
Yeah, he goes, the comics are killing here, and I didn't get the joke until later when he told me there was a dead body that was being taken out.
That's
Robert's laughing. Yeah,
that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, so
Okay.
Key took part in that. That's how that brought it up. And
Key, you killed that fucking old man. How do you sleep at night?
No, we got there and the guy was being taken out before we started performing. So we had nothing to do with that death. But it felt really good. And then thank you, John Butera, for giving me a spot in the evening. So, do you want to say anything?
No, I think that's all for me. That's all, folks.
Okay, so we're going to introduce our guest. Our guest, he's celebrating his 4-year comedy anniversary. He's been doing this lovely thing we call comedy for 4 years now. He's very funny. He performs all over Long Island. James Ranilo.
Hey, Bonnie. Mandy, how are you?
And he's saying, "Hey, Bonnie," because I usually screw up his name. He comes to my open mic, and I usually butcher his name every time.
Literally a day oneer, in my opinion. Someone that was there within the first week of me doing comedy, has known me as long as I've been doing it.
Yeah.
Still
butchering your name.
Still butchers it.
Now
you have one of 5 vowels at the end to guess, and you get it.
Are you just being polite? How is it properly pronounced?
No, Raniolo. That was right. I had her.
He
I had her write it phonetically.
I was saying it right?
Oh no, you were saying it right the entire time. We just met.
Do people usually mess it up?
Since I'm 6 years old.
Oh, okay. See,
I thought I was special and messed it up.
See, I always got Jones. That's an easy one, and I always kind of felt like, the kids that they would be like, how it,
ravioli. It was ravioli forever, and then like to this day, someone
well,
say
that's cute. Ravioli.
Yeah, it's just it's fun. It's
They're
fun.
delicious.
It's like I don't take offense if someone mispronounces my name. It's what it is.
You just let it go.
I don't care either.
It's totally fine.
I'm fine with it.
Do you ever go by Jim or anything else like that?
No.
Yeah, because I have a brother, James, and they were like, don't call him Jimmy, don't call him Jimbo,
My
don't
mom
touch
told
it.
me that as a kid, if anyone tried to call me Jimmy or Jim or anything like that, I would
punch
go,
them in
my
the
name is James. But
Yeah, don't just
but it's
fucking
like,
assume.
No, but like honestly, it's one of those things where James is ancient. Like it's the name
beautiful.
of kings and emperors. Like there was no King Jimmy, like there was no Emperor Jimbo.
Jimbo.
Like there was none of that. Like here's the thing, like
Jimmy Bob.
Italian people like over 50 can get away with calling me Jimmy all day long. You may Jimmy boy, get over here. Like that's totally fine.
I know. There's
Good, then I can call you Jimmy.
I have one comic friend that ironically calls me Jimbo loudly, and I think it's funny as hell, so that's okay. But like, for the most part, I don't answer to anything else, and if I do, I go, "Why did I respond to that? Like, what is wrong with me?"
Well,
why am I letting them?
Well, James picked our subject tonight, which is
Yes.
self-care, and I didn't see Robin before. Now I see. Hi, Robin DeVito. Robin was one of the wonderful people that came to the Terry McNeely show with George, so we thank you for that.
Oh, and took pictures as always. The
Took
best.
great pictures of, and don't take offense when I don't want my picture up. I'm just.
I don't even take pictures of you anymore. I know you love me. I just take mental pictures and
I'm very, I was
you're self-conscious.
self-conscious ever since I was ripped apart in a photo.
Yeah.
But we won't get into that.
Yeah.
So I'm very
I
careful.
changed my shirt. I was gonna wear my T-shirt that has a troll on it.
Yeah, there was a
Right.
troll page where they picked my photo apart, and ever since then, I'm very careful about what.
You know how
I
uncomfortable it is right now, knowing that there's like a live feed of me right in front of me, and if I look at catch myself staring, like,
Well, I know, and then you
like
get
that's
that.
how I'm coming off to people.
Oh, so
No,
Robin
no.
DeVito says that handsome man,
Is my
James,
new
is my
friend.
new friend.
Oh, thank you.
I'll
She's
introduce
gonna
you,
slide
Robin.
into the DMs.
Yes.
No, she's spoken for, but
Self-care. So who wants to go first?
well, I think since you brought it up, you said you had a health scare that was why you wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, pretty
What?
much.
Tell us the elevators. Sell us your what happened.
I mean, to give kind of the broad strokes, I told this story on like the full story on another podcast once. It took
You can
forever,
plug it.
but like, I don't know, adult babies,
Plug it.
adult babies with Brendan Ryan.
Okay, adult baby.
Episode 168, I think. No, I after like years and years and years of just not living well and having genetics predisposition to all this stuff, I had a heart attack when I was 35, and that was about 2 years ago. And I always, one of those things where I always kind of like joked about it because my wild lifestyle and everything. I always be like, whatever, I won't live to see 40. And I kind of had that mentality in my head, even in my 20s.
Yeah,
in my
so why
early
preserve
30s.
this fucking thing?
Right. So then when it finally happened, I was like, what? Oh, holy shit. But even in my typical nature, it still took me about a year plus for me to even process it. You know, yeah, right away I quit smoking cigarettes and I quit fast food and whatnot, but I was still really just kind of not living healthy and without routine and things like that. So it just took a while, and every day is just, you got to remind yourself, because it's so easy to be like, I've been doing really well. I can have myself a cheat day, and then you check the scale and you go, I lost 4 pounds this week. I can have another cheat day. And then next thing you know, you're right back at it again. And it's just, it's what it is.
When you were 35 and you had the heart attack, did you have lost weight since then?
Yeah, I'm down almost 40 pounds since
40 pounds.
Yeah, since it happened. Yeah.
So for those of you tuning in, Harry, Flag Drop is tuning in. Hi, Harry. Our topic is self-care, and that's why we're talking about this. I also gained a lot of weight after I yo-yo. My weight goes up and down, and I have to be very careful, like you said, because I can just start going backwards and put on weight very easily. And it's much harder to take it off than it is to put it on.
Right, no, absolutely. I just kind of reached the point where I just kind of maintain like this fat out of shape kind of form where I really didn't get much fatter, but I didn't really get much thinner either. I kind of just balanced it because, you know, I'd eat right and exercise, but then I would have like 6 beers a night and wonder why I'm just not gaining or losing.
Right,
so,
exactly.
You know, I can justify now by saying I switched to bourbon because that's clearly, I'd rather have the sugar than the...
And I'm gonna do the Karen fucking excuse where like there really aren't healthy options. Like you go to, you know, most bar and grill or most places and they'll be even the fucking smoothie vegan place. They're like, oh, vegetarian. There's like 2 vegetarian options.
Yeah,
and like nothing even vegan, and everything else is chicken sandwiches and turkey sandwiches
and even if you just want to make your day-to-day meal prep relatively healthy, it's still expensive as hell, you know? I mean, it's
you have to really, it all comes down to planning and putting yourself first. Yeah. Because basically, if you don't put yourself on, like, I had trouble just putting myself on the list, let alone first.
Right.
So I would take care of everybody else, and then I would just, the easiest, fastest option would be like, you know, I'm working full time, take care of kids, you know, and I have to do lesson plans when I get back, and then just repeat the next day. I would just pick up fast food, you know, for every, you know, and just eat a lot of fast food, and you just keep eating to self-medicate.
Yeah, I worked nights forever. So you get out at 2 a.m, you're hungry, you stop at like, and I live right over here. Literally every fast food restaurant that exists is within the same 1 mile stretch.
Yes.
So it's
it's illegal. Honestly,
it's all accessible. It's all
True.
accessible, and then it just kind of bleeds into another. You roll out of bed, you get a Red Bull or whatever your pick me up is, and then it just
repeat.
Rinse, repeat for months, you know. And then next thing you know, you got a tingle in your chest after work one day, and that's what it is.
And I do notice that when I get on a bender and eat clean, I won't crave the junk. But if I'm eating fucking the McDonald's and then that stuff, then I do crave the saltier stuff. I'm like, all right, it's time for fries. It's 4 p.m.
My whole empire will fall on bagels and pizza. That's it. I'll eat clean for a week, and then I'll have a bagel in the morning and be like, that's my only meal for the day, or pasta. Right. And then I have a hole in my foot. I'm just eating for a day straight, and I don't know what. My body's so used to not having carbs.
Yeah.
Then when it takes a little bit, it's like, all right, let's do this. Like
Yes,
it's ready to rock. Like
absolutely. So Lou Prats is tuning in. Hi, Lou. How you doing? We're talking about self-care, and right now we're on weight. We're talking about weight because a lot of it has to do with what you put in your body and how much you consume, right? But it's also your attitude and what's going on in your life. And I find that the more stressed out I am and the more out of control I feel my life is, that's when I eat more. And, you know, I think food is very scary because you eat it for happiness, you eat it for stress, and you have to eat it to live.
Right. It's not like a fucking drug addict where you go, all right, you're not allowed to fucking do cocaine, no more cocaine. You can't do that anymore. And you take it away and you lose the number. But you fucking go down the fucking supermarket, the end of every aisle is Entenmann's and all this sugary stuff, and it's at eye level because it's for you to want that shit like last minute, you know.
Robin's saying, I would love a ding dong cake. Is there really such a thing? I think there is.
I think she said there really is such a thing.
Oh man! And Lou Prats goes, I got lots of weight. Well, I think we all have that. And my
now I'm hungry. I know.
Yeah,
Nancy,
everybody's gonna start eating chips.
I'm gonna talk about how much I eat clean, and I have Oreos and like a bunch of different kinds of chips.
Last week she brings out sour cream and onion potato chips and puts it in front of me and Will. And me and Will are like eating it. She has one, and we're like eating like the whole bag.
Bonnie and I split that bag.
So my boyfriend's saying, "Hi, I know what goes into Bonnie's body. It's all natural."
Oh,
Michael,
keeping it classy as always, Michael.
Michael, he puts it all out there.
Always in the gutter, Michael.
And Robin too, especially a ding dong cake. Yes, we all want a ding dong cake. So, do you all find that when you're stressed out, you do things like you don't exercise, you don't? I think. Or do you get stressed out and use it as your motivation to work out or something like that?
I actually did start when I had people living here, when I had my husband's two friends. Well, they were my friends too, but they were living here. And it was like basically having adult children. So, I needed space. Even though I have my own space and I needed space at times. And a couple of times I like went for a run. And literally, like, I'm talking August, and just tried to run as fast as I could. But I was just running around the block because I knew at some point my heart was going to fucking give out. And I didn't want to be far from home because I am not a runner. Like, my sister and my mom can, like, run and have runner's high. But it was more like a self-mutilation. Like, I'm going to punish myself by fucking running right now. And I don't know. It might be good. It might not.
I like that way of thinking. That's a very
pain is weakness leaving the body. I haven't done that recently. I do like to jump rope, which also kicks your fucking ass. Right. It's hard.
Oh, that's very aerobic.
It really is hard to do. You fucking do that shit for 10 minutes and you'll be panting for 27.
Joan Krupiash is tuning in. Hi, Joan. We're talking about self-care. Did you do any exercise when you were in your early 20s and 30s?
No, I played a little bit of soccer like when I was like in high school and whatnot until I like aged out of intramural, and then that was pretty much it. Like I didn't do a whole lot outside of just like.
You're not a gym guy.
Hell no! Outside of menacing things like climbing roofs and running through the woods and whatnot, like I'm never really particularly active. But like all my jobs, I was always just like a glorified grunt. So I always managed to like. Like during the height of it, when I actually had my heart attack, like I was working like 60, 70 hours a week on my feet constantly. So I was constantly moving. It wasn't like I was just sitting around. Like I feel bad like people now, especially now that they're working from home. They can be the most active people in the world. Some jobs have gyms, some have different ways to just promote, like especially office jobs. They always tell you like once an hour, go and do this and do some jumping jacks or whatever it is. But now,
because it wakes you up, because you start getting
at home, you could literally be just dressed from the waist up and just sit there
a lot of
day
people
long
do.
And not, and and it just, like it just that hurts too because it just you got to keep that blood flowing. I refer to it as getting the steps in because I don't want people thinking like, I'm not running 3 miles.
But yeah.
I call it struggling. I'm struggling for 3 miles, but I'm like, I just got to get the steps in. I'll be back in an hour. And I just leave it at that.
It's better than nothing. Like, honestly, I think any movement at this point is better than nothing. And, like, honestly, you use it or lose it. Like, people that are, like, 50 years old, they let their bodies, like, there are certain people at that age that will let their bodies, they're like, I'm fucking old now.
Right.
And just sit in a chair and let themselves fucking
die.
You're
not looking at me, are you?
No, not looking at you. I'm just saying I know people that did that. It's like, why would you? And then there's other people that are really spry and just,
right.
Just keep moving.
I still can do it, like I'm 38, so I'm at that sort of age where like I wake up in the morning, now my foot hurts for no reason, like that's new. But like I power through it, I fight through it. But it's at the point now where I can't see myself getting back to as bad as I was. It's like, do I fluctuate with the weight? Do I try to whatever? But I can't see myself.
You've gained knowledge and you've been through an I think nobody listens to anybody. You have to like go through things and learn the hard way.
Right.
People give you advice. You kind of hear it, but you don't really process it until something happens to set you off. Robin's saying she shared the show. So thank you, Robin.
Thank you.
If everybody could please share the show. And Lou was saying that the runner's high is an urban myth.
Yeah, no, it's just that feeling that you're going to pass out. It's euphoric to some fucking sick weirdos. Like I said, I did do that a bit. I prefer what they call jail workouts, which are crunches and fucking push-ups, because that's my own body weight. Because I'm always afraid that I'm secretly not doing something a little wrong. And God forbid you're doing something wrong with a weight. Mm-hmm. You fuck yourself up. Yeah. You can really fuck your wrist or your arm up. Like, if you're like, even a light weight, if you're, my basketball coach used to always say, practice makes permanent. It's not practice makes perfect, because if you're fucking practicing the wrong thing,
right.
You're drilling that wrong fucking thing into your head.
Yeah, well, as far as exercise, I'm friends with Will because we do the mic together, Will Romero, and he's a big runner.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And I used to be on the cross country, running team in Syosset High. And I used to love running, and I ran all through my 20s. And I used to be as thin as you in my 20s and 30s, and I was running all the time. And then my knee went out. And Robin has a question for you related to that. But when my knee went out, it I have so much responsibility. I have work, I have kids. I was like, oh, crap. Like, they worked on it, and they're like, well, you can run, but if you do, you might really hurt that knee. And I'm like, oh I can't. I can't. So once again, I had to take myself off the list. It's something I love, something that gave me peace, and so I started walking.
Right.
So now I walk. And I was talking to Will about it, and I said, in your 20s and 30s and even your early 40s, your body is a different way. And as you get older, things break more easily. Right. Things are, like you were talking about,
more brittle.
You have to be really careful. And, I know we don't talk politics. This isn't a political statement, but Donald Trump, except for golf, never did any physical activity. And that's why he has no problems with his body. And he's like, because all the people who were runners, they have problems with their knees. The tennis players have tennis elbow, and he's like, I
never abused this thing.
Right, he never did anything, so he's
this
not
precious temple.
Precious temple. But there has to be I think walking is a good way to do something. You feel like you're doing something.
So many people have a mentality of they got to change it all at once. This is that's my problem too. You got to do it all at once. You got to put in this hardcore regimen, and if you don't do it, you fail. Meanwhile,
I burn bridges. I'm 0 to 100.
Yeah, I'm 0 or 100. I'm one or the other. But I got to learn. I do my running, my struggling at Belmont Lake. So around the trail, they have those things where it's you do 10 dips, or you do sit-ups, and not even doing that, but I tell myself, all right, run as fast as you can to this point.
Right.
And then take as long as you need to get to this point.
Like goals.
And then after, again, listen, the first 3 weeks was brutal. I was ready to die, and it's 2 years after smoking cigarettes. So my lungs are clear enough. It's more just my body just like, just can't handle it. I'm still hauling around like 200 pounds, so it's like, and then after a while though, it's just a little more, and I'm going a little further, and I get that mile under. I mean, this is brutal because like I see Will's times. Will's like super X-Men time. It's like if I could do an 18-minute mile, I'm like, today is the day. I'm gonna treat myself to some pizza. Like that's the problem, But you gotta learn to accept those little victories and build on them.
Just
that's
do it for
part.
yourself, not for anybody else, or to compete with anybody else. But Robin had a question for you. She wanted to know if you were talking about your foot. Do you have sciatica? Is that why your foot hurts?
Well, I was just using that as like an example. Like when I was running, like all of a sudden, like I guess I kind of like stepped off my foot the wrong way, and the top of my foot hurt out of nowhere, and then it kind of went away. But you know what? I could probably. I don't.
He hasn't had a doctor diagnose him yet, so it's something, but we don't know.
My cardiologist that I had 2 years ago was the first like regular doctor that I've had in forever because I've always been relatively healthy despite my habits. Yeah. So I never really had to go and get everything checked out and whatnot. That doesn't bother me. Like I don't mind that, But the only thing that bothers me about my doctor now is my cardiologist is all the way up in like Port Washington, and I don't do anything. I just sit in his office. He's like, "All right, your cholesterol's good. Goodbye."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. Just for him to tell me that I'm good. Like,
now I have a question for you. Do you know who Larry Lane is? Larry Lane is tuning in, and he says that Robin says Mandy is shy in person. I'm the one that's shy in person.
Am I really?
Mandy's not shy. I'm shy.
really not shy.
I am. Maybe you're mixing us up.
Do you see what your man's is saying about Will right now?
Michael's saying Will had to run fast to get away from Border Patrol. LOL, just kidding. Yeah, Michael.
He's running from ICE.
Michael loves Will. He's just joking.
So funny,
no, what I would say is that comedy shows, I try to be respectful. So a lot of times, like I'm like quiet.
Me too. I would never talk during someone's set. That's so rude.
That I really don't like. If that's why I'm shy. Somebody once said that I was meek, and Glenn's
you meek?
was like,
Who said that?
Exactly.
Are you fucking kidding me?
That was exactly her reaction. I was like, "Thank you, ma'am." Like, I will fucking back.
Mandy and I, if you get on the wrong side of us, we will be your worst nightmare. That's right. We're very polite and respectful, but we defend ourselves.
Why do you think I'm jump roping? I'm waiting for a motherfucker to just come in my house so I can fucking kill them.
That's right. Seriously. We have a lot of pent up rage. We're ready to come out.
I don't go to therapy, guys.
I did, but my therapist plan just dropped me 2 weeks ago. So I'm therapist less.
We're not
therapy. So just don't piss us off. That's all I want to say. And Robin's saying, yeah, we're both shy. We are. We're shy with people we don't know.
I let people I honestly, and like around the comics, everyone wants to have the floor. So I let people have the floor. And I also love hearing the stories and sitting back and people chumming around.
So you guys aren't telling me what you do to
cough it up.
Yeah, it's for self-care. Does anybody have something that they do for themselves to help them, live a healthier, better life? When I was at my highest weight, which was 80 pounds heavier. Well, no, I gained 20, so 60 pounds heavier than I am now. Yeah. I read this book by Bethany Frankel called Naturally Thin. And I'm searching for the book, so I got to reread it to lose these 20 pounds. But I think that people like Mandy, who are naturally thin, they have a mindset, and they don't think the way people like us think. So she used Paris Hilton as an example, because she used to work for Paris Hilton, taking care of her when she was a little kid. And when Paris Hilton would go to McDonald's, she would order French fries and eat 3 fries and throw the rest in the garbage. Oh. And that's the mindset of a naturally thin person, that they eat whatever they want, nothing is off limits, but they know instinctively just to have a couple of bites, and then they're not guilted into like finishing it or, and so Bethany Frankel was like, your diet's like a bank account. Like if you if you put too much, if you withdraw too much, you have to put it back. And your weight's the same way. If you fucking eat a whole cake the next day, you have to starve yourself to make up for it. It's like a bank account.
Yeah.
And somebody who's naturally thin just normally does that without having to think about it. And it's not about a diet. All the diets are BS. And you'll lose weight on a diet and then you'll gain it back and then some. It's about your lifestyle and that kind of thinking about you don't have to finish everything. And she was saying if you're guilty about wasting food, then you put it in Tupperware containers, you freeze it, you take it out and you eat it in small portions. So I got to find that book because I got to lose.
Yeah, that makes sense because that's a lot of people.
Say what your mom is saying.
Oh my God. Since it's hard for my husband and I to go out, since we have a child with special needs, Mike and I built a shed in the back where we karaoke. It's like a little honky tonk. Oh my God, Mom. And it's
I love this, Mary.
I get dressed up and go out in there. It's just like, oh my God, Mom, why is this a fucking
Mary, you're inspiring me. I want to do that.
Bonnie wants to go to the shed, Mike.
I want to build my own shed. No, it's a great idea because then that's the way you're celebrating and getting through life. Whoa, John David Lambros Jr., how are you? He did a lot of weightlifting, and now he's trying to go down in size.
Bond. I love it. All right, we love you, Mom. Thanks for that.
You can fit. I'm sorry.
No, that's all she said.
But Eric Shevland builds sheds for like outdoor things. So I might like get in contact with him and really do that because your mom is inspiring me. Do you want to talk about what John Lambros is saying?
I did a lot of weightlifting. I'm trying now to go down in size. However, cardio has never been my strong point, and it's weird me considering that I played football and was a wrestler both in high school and white trash indies. You know, my mom never practiced it, but she got her degree to be a personal trainer.
Oh, cool.
And she actually, the lady that trained her, that like the first lady that like mentored her, I don't know if she was a retired cop or a cop and is retired now. But either way, the lady was like, look at the men, look at the women. All the fat women are on the ellipticals and all the fucking studly men are working out with dumbbells and lifting weights because they're building muscle. And when you fucking go home and sleep and eat, the muscle fucking burns and works for your body versus just an elliptical, 200 calories. It's a fucking joke. It doesn't even translate to anything, like, in terms of, you know what I mean? So they really say cardio's, I mean, I guess I'm not a fucking professional. You really, I guess, do incorporate it. But my mom always taught me the school of thought was just like, build your muscles and then they'll just work for you.
100%. However, the cardio is extremely
For
important.
people who are overweight like us, we need that cardio.
Because the heart's a muscle too.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where even if like I got 4 stents in me right now. So it's like, yeah, okay. It's I lost 40 pounds.
That's serious.
So it's carrying around a little bit less. But it's scarred. It dealt with a lot of stuff. So it's one of those things where you gotta your heart's gotta hold all of you up.
Right.
You know, so if like you're calling around like all extra weight and whatnot,
definitely.
especially if you're just sitting around doing nothing and you're not your blood's just sitting there pooling in your feet, your heart's just gonna like fuck, you know, like it's just gonna, you know, so the cardio is just important, even if it's just like
Very
walking around
important.
the block. That's all it, you know, even if it's just little things, or just keep it.
It's also important for your mental health too.
Right. You were talking muscle. The heart is a muscle. Like,
yeah,
it's the
true.
same.
And like I said,
I'd say identical principle.
I do jump rope and stuff, but like that was always her like initial thing. But Bonnie, it's 8:05. You want to just read the sponsor? Real quick?
Our sponsor, I love him. Key Fits. He owns a small business called Keys Love Jewelry and Keys Cutlery. Keys Love Jewelry, stainless steel jewelry, all nickel and tarnish free. Keys Cutlery, knives, swords, and self-defense equipment. Excellent quality for reasonable prices. You can shop online at keyslovejewelry.com, keyscutlery.com. They have a new location, Retro Relics, 2860 Middle Country Road, Lake Grove, New York, 11755. If you want to talk to him, his phone number is 631-379-1781. And his beautiful wife, Teresa, and he run that company together, support small businesses, support Keys Loves Jewelry.
And you know what? I updated the address on this ad, but I'm going to put pictures of the new setup, and I got to go over there because
me too. I want to go over there. I never got to the first location. Now I've got to get to the second location.
Glenn still has that gift card from you.
Oh,
he's got to cash in. He's that and more. So
he came on our show and showed us all his stuff.
Oh, yeah,
that was awesome. That was really cool.
Wife. I'm going to the Renaissance Fair this weekend. I wonder if I'll run into them
because
they go to those. They vend at those kind of things.
So Robin is saying she never had to worry about anything until around her 60s, and she could definitely see and feel issues that have never had. I never even had to go to the gym until recently. Robin, I hear you. It's like anybody who thinks it's tough when you're in your 20s, 30s, and 40s to keep yourself in shape. Wait till you become in your 50s and 60s. Your metabolism stops. So everything gets harder. Anything that you did when you were younger, you have to do it harder and abstain more to just balance it out. And David Lange is saying, I did that fair last weekend. It's fun, but super crowded. Okay. I'm not into the crowds, but
yeah, I've.
John wants to know where the Renaissance Fair is.
You're asking the wrong person. No, it's honestly, it's in, I believe, we're going, I'm staying at a friend's house in Monticello, and that's near the fairgrounds.
Usually in Tuxedo. Monticello is a little bit away from there, but it might be in that
I think I might
Monticello's
be I could be like a half hour
Monticello's
away.
by Bethel, where Woodstock was. But
of course, David knows.
Is where it usually is, right?
David is our information man.
Thank you.
Thank you, David, the Colonel.
I do have the tickets on there. I just didn't fucking.
No, it's not on Long Island. It's in Tuxedo, New York, which it sounds like it's kind of far away.
Yeah, it was like a 3-hour drive.
You guys, never mind.
Yeah,
it's okay. We're all allowed to ask questions.
And I'm counting on Amazon Prime because I got 2 outfits coming.
Kathy Arnold. How are you? We love you, Kathy.
Happy. How do you stay in shape?
We're talking about fitness.
I'm late, but I'm here.
Yes, Kathy, we're talking about self-care and what you do to help your health and your mind and your body to stay fit and healthy.
And you were saying putting yourself on the list, how important that is.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely, like I said, when I had the adult children living here, that's when I realized that I needed space and that I needed to mentally do stuff to actually, and 2020, I think, being so afraid of getting sick, being like, oh, I'm not gonna fucking get sick. Like, I will not. I can't afford to get sick, not getting sick. It's not happening.
You will yourself to be healthy. It's like, no, I cannot, no.
It's not happening. And honestly,
until it does.
When it first happened, we weren't getting takeout. We weren't getting fast food. And I was
all about the fast. I was the opposite.
So honestly, we were eating really clean, and I got a lot of, and like anytime I cook at home, I don't cook meat, and I mean, I make a mean meatloaf, but I don't cook meat. And I hide a fuck ton of vegetables in it.
Right. But do you not find that, like I said, I do chicken and fish, and I have a whole bunch of different like seasonings and ways
you
that
get sick of it?
After a while, as delicious as it is, you just get sick of it.
Sick of it.
You just want a bleeding cheeseburger or whatever your go-to is. That you just want to dive in.
I ate fucking McDonald's today.
Kathy Arnold, when we asked her that, she said drink alcohol, and she said just kidding. Yeah, and I said me too. And my Facebook friend Joseph P. Bonvenzi is tuning in. He has his own radio show, which is really cool. Joseph, thank you for tuning in. And Nancy Weems and Bruno is tuning in. I love Bruno. He said good evening to everybody. She says veggies and beans make me happy. Kathy Arnold, and not me. I don't like. I like meat.
Can you tell me about this latke that you brought?
Oh my God! Okay.
It really is like.
Okay.
Hold on, I got mine too. Hold on.
I gave Mandy and James a cookie from Alexis's.
James put it right
My
in his
daughter
bag.
works
He's
at
like-
Choky Cookies, which whenever
That
when,
sounds
she
It does have me at pause.
sexual.
choky cookies.
Joseph
take two.
Says donuts make him happy. I'm going to tell you about those cookies in a minute. Joseph, type in the name of your podcast so people can find it, because I saw it a couple of times. It was really cool.
No, I'm really excited about that
So
cookie.
this cookie, when my daughter works at this place, the cookies are like cakes and they rise like this. So any cookie that doesn't rise, she gives to the employees to take home because they're good. They just didn't
It's
rise.
just not,
So
they can't
I have a
serve
bag
it.
of like this much.
So
Correct.
the self-care episode is based on
The self-care.
effective
So I gave
cookies
them.
and
I
alcohol.
gave them like really.
Low
This is like a
quality
really
cookie.
very high calorie cookie.
It's a recalled cookie, all right, guys?
Hey, Michelle Asta, how
Put
are
yourself
you?
on the list.
Put yourself on the list. No, only eat like a bite of the cookie a day,
I mean,
and it'll
this is
last you all
so
week.
Yeah, for real. This is-
That's the thing. Just take one bite.
I'm gonna lose a toe eating this thing. This is.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
it's heavy.
Can you feel that?
It's freaking heavy.
I know it's a weapon.
I had one. So, and I had it over. I cut it in half. I had half one day and half the other day. Don't even try to eat it all at once, or it's like a lead in your stomach. And that's not a good promotion for them, is it? Well, they're not our sponsor, so I can say what I want. All right. So Joe.
If you want to stop talking about
So everybody, please share the show. And Joseph said the Joe Show on Facebook and the new show on Aftermath Media, the Paradigm Shift. First show Saturday night. Good for you, Joseph. And you want to talk what John is? David,
I don't know how
Anderson?
to pronounce that word. And what it's
John-
Only
what John
Bunch
is
of
saying.
Comics would do a podcast about self-care with cookies and booze.
You're right, Johnny.
Obviously.
And I'm drinking wine, and that helps me mentally to prepare for my problems. You know.
And bourbon. It's good for
And
the
bourbon.
It's good for the croup.
They
That's
do
right.
say
And I'm pretty
what?
sure it's Paradigm.
And a lot of people that live to very old ages drink every day.
Right, whenever you hear those stories about someone that's like 110
Yeah.
from some like third world village, wherever, it's always like, what's your secret? It's like, my diet is bacon, fat, and wine. That's all it is.
Yeah, and it's usually
It's all,
red wine.
It's all it is. It's bacon, fat, and wine. That's
And
all
I
it
love bacon.
Yeah.
Bacon is one of my favorites.
Yeah, my grandma lived till 91. You went to her house.
Yeah, you have a
People-
bit about
people
her
would-
eating stuff about the circus. Tell me
Yeah,
about
no.
that.
The joke is that she got hospitalized, and they asked her what have you eaten, and she says a bag of marshmallows and a gallon of peanuts, and they're like, Jesus, Mister, according to the Start Your Turk Self. But the premise of that is she had no concept of, like, we were talking earlier about Italians and food, but they held food to such a different standard. Like,
Right,
the Irish
yes.
have no, like, they're like, fuck, they don't know how to cook.
The
anything.
Jews
They
are
don't
even
really-
worse.
Cuisine.
There's
Yeah,
no
really, yeah.
The
cooking at all.
Jewish cuisine is disgusting.
Yeah, that's-
And I'm Jewish, so I can say that.
Right, that's
It's
why
disgusting.
that's why I'm talking about the mix. They can't cook.
They're not much better. No,
Yeah, and that's
no.
why I learned my way around the kitchen in adult life, and I'm still learning my way around the kitchen. And I learned from, like, my little brother-in-law lives here. He's been on TikTok, and he says that you go down the wormhole with people doing a bunch of recipes of stuff you
Ooh.
wouldn't think of.
Right. Also, yeah, I guess you, because also with Italian food, it's different. It's also unique because Italian food, it's the same 3 ingredients. All right. It's pasta, it's marinara sauce, it's ricotta cheese. Like, that's
It's
all it
what
is.
shape.
It's what exactly your stomach doesn't know the difference. So I recently learned my way around the kitchen too. I can make a mean sauce,
Nice.
but that's
Oh.
it. But then the variants are what else? I'd make you spaghetti one day, and then the next day it'd be ziti. It'd be the same shit, but just a different. Just a different variety,
My friend-
So it's
But
the same
the
kind of thing.
the ingredients are all good. So no matter how you mix them, they come out well.
Right, and the
But-
sauce is like the baseline. Like, no matter what you're making, the sauce you're gonna make, and that's gonna be the.
But
that's
you ever
your
have a
signature
crepla?
on your dish.
A crepla?
Ugh,
It
that
tastes
sounds
like it
it's coming
sounds.
up.
It's
Crumble.
disgusting. So Joseph says he eats shitty all the time because he's always on the run, and that is a very good thing that you brought up. is, again, it's all planning, putting yourself on the list, planning out what you're going to eat. Like when I was doing my best and I was in my 20s and 30s and I was thin like you, I had a list. I'm going to have like a bowl of Cheerios in the morning. I'm going to have like, very little lunch. And I would like literally write it down and follow it. And then once you deviate from that, once your life spirals out of control, you're just like, oh, I'm like all over the place. Yeah, I'm passing McDonald's. Ooh, or somebody close to you says, ooh, what if you want to stop off at McDonald's? You're like, sure. When you wouldn't normally do that, and you have to like stick to your plan.
Right.
If your plan is okay, like you said, I'm going to have one meal and not eat the rest of the day. You can't let other people convince you to
right, but at the same time, it's hard for you to get caught up in like the moment. So like I need everything written down. Like I don't know if you ever seen The Usual Suspects. You ever seen that movie, The Usual Suspects?
I feel like I have.
All right,
No.
I'm gonna bring it back.
Okay.
All right, so it's a visual kind of metaphor, but like I need everything like kind of like visualized. So it's like I'll put my meal plans for the week on a dry erase board, and it'll be like
that's smart.
I really don't eat breakfast. I really try not to eat solid food until like noon. So I'll have like a shake, and then whatever. But then it'll be like the shake, the chicken, the this, the that, and I'll basically plan out my meal. And at the end of the day, I take a marker, and if I did it, I checked it off. And if I did it for whatever reason, I put an X next to it. And yes, you might have a bad day, but if you look at it by the week, you go, all right, I missed the shake this day. I caved and had pizza this day, but overall, this is good. And then when you do your food shopping or your meal prep for the next week, you go, all right, you evolve, And like, what was his name? Joseph? Saying?
Joseph.
Same thing. I was getting out of work at 2:00 all the time. That was all that was available to me. It sucks, yes, but at the same time, I'm now working like a day job, but every Sunday is my day. I do my meal prep, I do my food shopping, and I prep for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and on Thursdays when I'm done with my open mic, that I'm going to plug at the end of this. I do my preps for Friday and Saturday.
Speaking
of
that,
Sunday I keep it moving, and I accept the fact that it's not going to be perfect, but with each passing whatever,
but at least you're
I try to
putting it
learn
out
a
there.
different new thing. So it's a different chicken recipe, it's a different fish recipe, it's a different whatever. It's Rome wasn't built in a day, So
speaking of that, plug anything you want to plug.
Oh no, my only consistent thing that I'm plugging is I do an open mic every Thursday night at Destination Unknown Beer Company in Bayshore from 6 to 8. We do it outside right now under like a tent, and as the weather gets a little colder, we'll probably move into the tasting room. But it's a great place. If you love craft beer, it's dog friendly.
I think I did a show there.
Really?
Did Justin McDonald and
Hopwins.
Eli Valette?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not the same
Hopwins is
place.
up the block. This one's more by, if you know Bayshore, where like Hobby Lobby is and Kohl's. It's slightly past the mall.
Okay.
It's like right along that line, but it's the same kind of thing.
Say the name of it again?
Destination Unknown Beer Company, otherwise known as Dubco. They have excellent craft beers.
Beer company.
I did a show there back in July that was absolutely insane. And like we were talking about with the 15 people, like I produced this show and we made a lot. We had a lot of people, and they were like, "Oh, you want to do this monthly?" I'm like, "Oh, well, results like this quarterly, maybe. I can't do this once a month, because I really was. It was my first show I'm producing solo. All the things kind of added up where I was able to draw in a big crowd.
Yeah.
And I really took passion in promoting it. And they were like, "Can you do this every month?" I'm like, "Absolutely not."
Yeah, a lot of Hail Marys.
Yeah,
and
no,
people that are like,
it just
all right,
kind of worked out
it.
that way, But yeah, no, I host my own mic every Thursdays, and I'm not really big on on Instagram. I said my Instagram name is my gamer tag because that's how much I don't use Instagram. Like someone told me I needed Instagram just so I could promote podcasts
I don't
that I'm on.
understand
Like,
Instagram.
that's it. Like I only got an Instagram because I was on a podcast. And the guy, Brendan LaCaruba was like, "Dude, get an Instagram."
The young people know
they're
all
like,
about
"Bro,
Instagram.
bro, what's your gram? I got to promote this shit." I was like, "All right, fine." I just made it up.
I just recently, I think I asked one of the young people, I don't even know how to like a photo on Instagram. And somebody goes, you have to tap it twice. There's only one response,
There's
correct?
just a little heart.
A heart.
Yeah, that's it.
But
You
I didn't know
heart
you have to
things.
tap it twice to like it,
Yeah,
which
you
I didn't know. So I didn't know how to like anyone's
So you've
photos.
never liked anything?
No,
You've
because
just
I
been
didn't
a
know how.
voyeur?
And I just use Instagram, correct.
And you
And I
use
just use Instagram as a photo holder for like photos. Because because I have like 10,000 photos on my phone. And if I want to find a photo of, like, let's say me and Mandy, I'll go to Instagram because I put it there, and I can find it quicker. That's all I use it for. I don't know how to. I really should try to create something out of it, because
so many of these young comics, they promote.
They know exactly what they're doing.
It is
I don't know what I'm doing.
In this 10 seconds that you're watching, there's bells and whistles and step right up. It's like that whole thing, and I'm like,
Mandy does that with, like, the thing, like, moves.
All that.
I'm like,
really? No idea.
Cool. The little story function, you could download a story, and then you could post a story.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
Let you do GIFs and let you write, and I'm like, I actually look like I know what I'm up to.
All my shows that I randomly do, I do also do promote shows. I do shows once a month at One Eye Jacks, but I love
One Eye Jacks.
I do the flyers. And
me and Mandy met at One Eye Jacks.
Really? That's awesome.
Through Stephen Perillo.
So many great people met at One Eye Jacks.
Rocco Perillo.
Oh, yeah.
Steve Rocco Perillo.
He's watching us right now going, Rocco Perillo.
He's not watching us.
He's performing right now. I actually know that for a fact. I'm an insider source that's at the performance. That's a non-comic, a civilian that spotted him.
A civilian.
So Robin says, I post daily pictures of myself in the ladies' room at work. I know. Yes, Robin, we love those. But those are on Facebook. Aren't they?
But she's saying it's like another, like, social media daily.
Oh, it's so fun. I love to watch everybody and all their photos and stuff.
What I like about Instagram is some people will dedicate, like, they started the Instagram to dedicate it to, I am getting healthy, I just had a fucking heart attack, or I'm training for a marathon, whatever it is, and they do day 1, day 2. Either they're posting what they're eating, or they're posting a picture of the hike they took, or a view from the hike they took that obviously took a couple steps. They just do something every day to prove, and it's holding yourself accountable as much as like I try to hold ourselves to a standard by, like, Sunday night for me to have, like, a flyer, because it's like then the work week starts, and I just want it to be, it's already Wednesday. If you don't do it by Monday night, then it's the Chinese proverb, if you wait one day, 10 will pass.
Oh, I like that.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, so you really do. You have to get on your shit with that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I digress, because I really don't know where I was going.
So as far as a recap of healthcare, I don't know how much time we have left.
We have 7 minutes.
7 minutes. So we were talking about diet. The one thing we didn't talk about is the mental frame of mind you have to be in to be good at doing self-care. And I know I went to see a therapist. I was working, and then I retired, and I never had time to go to a therapist. So I went to see a therapist, and the therapist helped me to figure out a lot of stuff that I, just put in the back burner. I didn't think about. And people don't take the time for their mental health. They talk about working out, they talk about, running and this and that. But if you don't get your mental health okay, your body is a result of your mental health. And I say that because one of the things that makes people live longer is they want to live. And if you don't want to live, your health is affected by that. If you're in depression, or you're not doing well, you're upset, you're always like feeling badly about yourself, it's going to show up in your health. I really believe the mind and the body are connected.
Absolutely.
What are you guys thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on that?
I liked your keep yourself on the list. I always felt that was more mental wise, because yes, I can do all my meal preps and whatnot on a Sunday, but I'm still putting everybody before myself Monday through Saturday. Mm-hmm. It's the same kind of. So I like that, and sometimes you gotta, because you understand, like, no one else is gonna stop their life for you, Yeah. So it's the part where you gotta just be a little selfish. Yes. Unfortunately, and it's just you gotta kind of, because it's so easy to publicly be like, oh, I'm getting fat. Look at my gut. Like, it's okay to talk about how I gotta get my physical health back on track. You can talk about that in public all day long and be like, bro, I ate an entire cheese. I ate an entire pot pizza. But you don't want to be like, dude, I cried in the shower for like 4. That's not as.
There's a
That's not
shame
as,
to that.
There's a shame to that, so
Which
no one
shouldn't
wants to
be.
talk about it. So you and
Yeah.
we're giving diet tips for the last 53 minutes, but not once are we talking about, what helps me, because no one wants to talk about it. No one wants to hear it, So it's one of those things where you got to find people that get it.
Absolutely.
And then you got to find out, like, all right, how much do you really get it? Because it gets dark sometimes,
It does. It can get very dark.
It gets weird, It's what it is. But
it's interesting that you talk about that because I have a group that I created. It's a stupid group about my self-centered shit.
I'm a member. What the hell? I'm a member of it. I thought it was so you stop going to Facebook jail. I thought it was so. And then it was like the Bonnie Mafia. Like everybody here, like they know what's up. You can't.
No, but Robin's on right now, so she's tuning in. But there was a post about love everybody who loves you and fuck the rest, which was a Joker post, and I loved it and I put it up, and at Coasters, Jennifer Lentini, who I love.
Absolutely.
And Jennifer's like, well, the problem is I love everyone. And then I wrote, I don't. And Robin goes to Jennifer, you're not as old as Bonnie and I yet. Wait and see. Because the longer you live, the more stuff that happens that you have this mindset of protect yourself.
Your heart will blacken, Jen. Don't you worry.
No, I love Jen.
She's got a new lease on life, though.
No,
that's the thing, though. She's just that person all the time.
She loves everybody. She does love everybody.
She really is.
Oh, thank you, Joseph. I love everybody who loves my group. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I just enjoy it. So David Lane said absolutely true. The mind and the body are totally connected. You have to work both in parallel because if you let one fall, the other will soon follow. That is so well put. David is so freaking smart that, it's just like he says things in such a great way. And Robin agrees with me that so we weren't attacking Jennifer, but we were saying,
No, I guess
wait, you haven't been where we are yet. Like it's just.
I think she's go ahead.
No. So Jennifer goes. It was a very positive interaction, but it's true. I mean, I used to love everyone too until certain people came after me, and now I'm very careful.
You guarded, but
I'm guarded now.
I love everyone until I get to know them. Because that's how I feel. I really do love humanity, and I want to have faith in people, and I want to trust people because
you want to.
Yeah, because
I hope you're right.
Gonna do?
I hope you're right.
And I give people second chances. People who've canceled on this show.
I give them 3 chances.
And they say to Bonnie, oh shit, they want to go on the Wildflowers, but I canceled for the Calamity Jones hour. Bonnie goes, oh well, this is your chance to make it up to him. And Glenn's like, you can't just 86 everybody, Mandy. And they come here and I have a nice conversation with them, and so I put I try to leave my baggage at the door.
We all have baggage.
I realize it.
And she's brave enough to admit she has it. We all have it. You just either lie about that you don't have it, or you tell the truth. Robin,
things I do.
Robin goes, she will be hating in about 30 more years. That's right, Robin. Give it time.
And one of the things I do to try to steer my mood when I can't get out of that place is I do use music.
Right.
So I try to put on upbeat
great,
music, or I have just tons of playlists.
That's
just
great
so much music.
advice.
But do you not have the Drown in It music?
Oh well, yeah. And
I always default to the Drown in It playlist.
I'll find myself listening to Conor Oberst, which is not healthy. But that definitely, but it's at least they're talented.
At least the option is there to elevate the
emotions.
That is a great piece of advice.
Just put on some good music.
Now, everyone, can you please share the show? Share the show.
Take a walk. Yes,
Nancy
a walk
Wings.
does just change your mind, like Bonnie said.
And Robin DeVito said, I like that new hunk sitting next to you, Bonnie.
We're going to keep them. James, you were awesome. And a really great topic.
Music soothes the savage beast. And it does. And I had put Key Fits on Felix's show at the Assisted Living because Key plays the guitar. And I'm not going to get into anything specific on air.
Yeah.
But somebody goes, why did you put Key as the headliner? I go, first of all, I love Key. He's always been fantastic to me. And at least as a living, he plays music. He's the only comic that plays music. The guitar is soothing to residents,
two
and
for
it's
one.
help. So that's why, and I didn't give him more time than anyone else. I just put him last because I think that the guitar, especially the acoustic guitar, is one of my favorite instruments. The banjo I hate, but the acoustic guitar is calming and wonderful.
And someone like he, like I don't know him too well. Like we know each other.
He's so
but
nice.
He's so disarming because you look at this guy and you think, oh man, this guy's at a nursing home, and then when he starts his thing, you're like, oh, this guy's the best. Like you know, you'd want him all the time. Like
Total teddy
absolutely.
bear.
Absolutely.
My boyfriend goes, you have to live long enough to fill your bucket list of hate. Yeah, I love Michael because Michael gets me.
Yeah, just wait long enough. Your heart will black it.
Yes.
But James, you really were an awesome guest. And tell us
so
one more time
Yes.
where we can find you on
James,
Thursday
you were
nights.
amazing.
Thursday nights, Destination Unknown Beer Company at
I'm going to try to get there maybe next Thursday.
Yeah, honestly, just look for the tent outside with the comics hanging out. If not, we're in the tasting room. And I promote shows once a month at One Eye Jackson, Bethpage. My name's James Ranilo on Facebook. And Jimmy the Geek 017 on Instagram and PlayStation Network.
Even though his name's James, don't call him Jimmy. But we will see. I'll see you on October 15th for Stephen Rocco Perillo's birthday. He's doing a roast battle, so a bunch of comics are going up against each other.
Coming for you, Dana.
Dana McAllister, who we're gonna have on this show, who's awesome. We've had her on Three's Company Radio Show. And me and her left on the Calamity Jones Hour, and we love Stephen Rocco Perillo, so we'll celebrate his birth.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, all right, guys, so that's the show. Thanks for watching and share the show.
Please share the show. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Bye, everybody.